Hello world, welcome. WDEE-TV headline news on tap for this Thursday, October 16th, 2014. I'm Michael G. Nastos reporting here from the WDEE-TV studios in Ypsilanti, Michigan. We give you our top 5 stories of today. And our top story, number 1, comes from Crain's Detroit Business News with no writer byline given. The city of Detroit, with financial help from the state, plans to demolish Joe Louis Arena, the current home of the Detroit Red Wings, and give the land to a creditor for development as part of a major settlement in the city's bankruptcy case, lawyers said today. This deal was disclosed in court, where Judge Stephen Rhodes has been holding a trial to determine if Detroit's plan to get out of bankruptcy is fair and feasible for the long run. Financial Guarantee Insurance Corp., a bond insurer with a $1 billion claim, was one of the last critics still standing after months of settlement between Detroit and other creditors. But the land that now puts FGIC, as it's known, on the sidelines moves the trial closer to completion. The Red Wings now play in the city-owned Joe Louis Arena along the Detroit River, but are planning to move to a new home a few miles away in downtown Detroit. They broke ground on that arena last week. That arena and a parking garage would be demolished, the current one giving Financial Guarantee nearly 9 acres for a hotel, condominiums, office space, or retail development. The state of Michigan has agreed to provide $6 million for demolition, which likely would start in 2017. The land is considered to be a valuable parcel because it is near Cobo Center, Detroit's downtown convention hall. It's a turning moment for the area of Detroit, said Corrine Ball, a lawyer for the city who gave details in court. Financial Guarantee attorney Alfredo Perez said it's a win-win for the bond insurer and Detroit. More on this story can be found in our local news feeds link on our website at WDEE-TV.com, where you can always learn more. Coming up next, students might face felony charges for sexting.
At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free. Morgan Taylor is located at 133 West Michigan Avenue in Ypsilanti. Clothing and accessories for men, women, and children at Morgan Taylor. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 734-221-0296. Ask about layaways and in-store financing. At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free.
We're back with more WDEE-TV headline news coming to you from our studios in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Thanks to Morgan Taylor. Buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free, and visit Ypsi and my producer today, Tony D. Our second of top 5 stories today comes from the Detroit Free Press and writer Lori Higgins. It could be a few weeks before more than 30 Rochester Community School students learn whether they'll face felony charges for sending and sharing inappropriate pictures of themselves or other minors. It's one of 2 sexting cases that have hit the news recently. A defense attorney says her client is among about 6 to 10 students in Romeo being investigated for sexting. The Oakland County Sheriff's Department has been investigating the case involving the Rochester students since first receiving a report in mid-September. Quote, "Our computer crimes unit is doing a forensic examination," said Captain Mike Johnson of the Sheriff's Department. The case involves 30 students at Rochester Adams High School and 1 student at nearby Van Hoosen Middle School, Johnson said. Shannon Smith, a Bloomfield Hills attorney who specializes in sex crimes cases, is representing one of the Rochester students and one of the Romeo students. The case unfolded in Rochester, she said, because some of the boys were collecting photos. More on this story can be found on the local news feeds link on our website at WDEE-TV.com. Coming up next, the village of Dexter considers the fate of Mill Creek Sports Center. We welcome you back to WDEE-TV Headline News, coming to you from our studios in Ypsilanti. My name is Michael G. Nastos. Thanks to my producer, Tony D., and all of our great sponsors, and you for watching. Our next story comes from the Dexter leader and writer Jim Pruitt. With the Mill Creek Sports Center being up for sale, trustee Ray Tell wonders if a new owner might wish to become part of the village. Are we prepared for that? Tell said. There have been talks about the fate of the site. To bring it into the village would require extending water, stormwater, and sanitary sewer lines to this property. The business closed soon after its owner, Ray Krosky, died in July. Quote, "I am looking not for what is best for the property, but what is best for me," Tell said. The property's location is a thorny issue since it resides in both Scioto and Webster townships and lies just outside of the village limits of Dexter. Connecting to the village would require a new PA 425 agreement, which is how annexations are handled in the state of Michigan. Trustee Paul Cousins said the site has significance historically, as it is where the first Dexter sawmill operated. The business predated the railroad and helped get Dexter started, he said. Cousins continued, "It's a very historic piece of property. It could be saved as a park or something like that." More on this story can be found on the local news feeds link on our website at WDEE-TV.com. Coming up next, a story about fake I.R.S. agents scaring customers into paying up.
At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free. Morgan Taylor is located at 133 West Michigan Avenue in Ypsilanti. Clothing and accessories for men, women, and children at Morgan Taylor. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 734-221-0296. Ask about layaways and in-store financing. At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free.
Welcome back. Michael G. Nastos reporting today for WDEE-TV Headline News, coming to you from our studios in beautiful Ypsilanti, Michigan, just around the block from Ann Arbor, down the street from Detroit. Our next story today comes from the Detroit Free Press and writer Susan Tompor. Jennifer Blanzy, 53, returned home from exercising one Saturday morning in September, only to find out that someone was threatening to put her in jail because she wasn't responding to letters from the I.R.S. The message left on the answering machine at her Grosse Pointe Park home said, "Do not ignore this phone call." "So I called right away," Blanzy said. After all, Blanzy's husband was wondering what was going on. Her young daughter was frightened that something bad was going to happen to her mother, but quickly calling the number only stirred up frustration and outright bullying from someone claiming to be from the Internal Revenue Service. By now, one would have thought that most people have heard the warnings about the scam artists who are claiming to be from the I.R.S. The con artists yell and shout and threaten that people will go to jail or lose their driver's licenses if they don't hand over money quickly. But Blanzy never heard those warnings, otherwise she wouldn't have called her mother and asked for help finding an attorney quickly. These threats of jail can be so intimidating and pervasive that others targeted by the same scam rush to drugstores or supermarkets to load up thousands of dollars on prepaid Green Dot cards or other prepaid cards. Since October 2013, the U.S. Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration has received more than 130,000 complaints relating to the scam and has had reports of more than $8 million in losses nationwide. Amazing. More on this story can be found on the local news feeds link on our website at WDEE-TV.com. Don't be fooled by the con artists. Coming up next, HBO will launch a standalone streaming service in 2015. Welcome back to WDEE-TV Headline News. We're bringing you our top 5 stories today in our studios in Ypsilanti, Michigan, and this is our 5th story of that rack, coming from the Detroit Free Press and writer Brett Molina. The HBO media company confirmed it will launch a standalone service for streaming its programs starting in 2015 that will not require a cable subscription. The service was revealed by HBO Chairman and CEO Richard Plepler during Time Warner's investors meeting on Wednesday. He said there is a large and growing opportunity that should no longer be left untapped. He said of the rise in broadband-only homes. It is time to remove all barriers, he said, to those who want HBO. Talk of a potential breakaway service from cable has bubbled for months. The network offers HBO Go, an app where users can access current and older HBO programs, including Game of Thrones and The Sopranos. However, it requires users to authenticate their account through their cable subscription. The app is available through smartphones, tablets, video game consoles like the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and set-top boxes, including Apple TV. In April, HBO announced a multi-year deal with Amazon to host older series, including The Wire and Deadwood, on the company's Instant Prime streaming service. Next year's arrival of a streaming HBO service is happening as companies like Netflix and Amazon Prime delve deeper into original programming. Last month, Netflix announced it will produce its first original movie, a sequel to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Days later, Netflix signed a long-term deal with comedian Adam Sandler to make 4 movies that will stream exclusively on the service. Meanwhile, Amazon Prime's video service has continued expanding its original offerings, most notably the series Transparent, which launched last month. More on this story about HBO can be found on our local news feeds link on our website at WDEE-TV.com. Coming up next, our WDEE-TV Music and Sports Report.
At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free. Morgan Taylor is located at 133 West Michigan Avenue in Ypsilanti. Clothing and accessories for men, women, and children at Morgan Taylor. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 734-221-0296. Ask about layaways and in-store financing. At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free.
Welcome back. Michael G. Nastos reporting for WDEE-TV Headline News, coming to you from our studios in Ypsilanti, Michigan. We gave you our top 5 news stories of the day, and we have a WDEE-TV.com music news report. The Edge Fest is in full swing for its 18th year and stronger than ever. The nationally acclaimed festival of progressive and creative improvised jazz continues until Saturday at the Carytown Concert House, local schools, and area restaurants in the Carytown district of Ann Arbor's near North Side. There's usually an instrumental emphasis or theme for the Edge Fest, and this year the focus is on the upright acoustic bass, the anchor of all music bands. Tonight it's solo bass from Diana Gannett, a bass duet from Betsy Sukup and Ben Willis, followed by the Jason Lee Rebke Octet, playing music from their new Delmark Records CD, High Red Center, and Open Loose, featuring bassist Mark Elias, saxophonist Tony Malabry, and the excellent drummer Tom Rainey. Friday, you can hear bassists Elias and Mark Dresser in duet as the Marx Brothers. There's a 50th anniversary tribute to Eric Dolphy's pivotal Out to Lunch Blue Note album with an all-star band from New York City and Chicago bassist Harrison Bankhead's quartet. Saturday, it's the annual Edge Fest Parade, Detroit bassist Joel Peterson's ensemble, Mark Dresser playing solo, the trio of Ingebrigt Hocker-Flatten, and a bass ensemble, and the U of M Creative Arts Orchestra at St. Andrew's Episcopal Church. Also 2 powerhouse sets from artist-in-residence William Parker and his septet In Order to Survive, with saxophonists Kid Jordan and Rob Brown, trumpeter Louis Barnes, trombonist Steve Swell, and the incomparable pianist Dave Burrell. We'll hear some music from William Parker right now. You can buy tickets for individual shows or an Edge Fest pass that allows you to hear anything and everything. You will need to make reservations. Call 734-769-2999 or go online at carytownconcerthouse.com. We should also mention that Deanna Relier, the founder of the Concert House, is once again going to make a go at retirement. She will remain as artistic advisor, but longtime Ann Arbor cultural advocate Lynn Aspinus will be there to carry on the tradition of presenting classical, jazz, and art music at the venue located at 415 North 4th Avenue. In WDEE-TV headline sports, EMU's football team made headline news for three very different reasons in the past week. After their resounding 37-27 home field win over Buffalo Saturday at Rynearson Stadium, Buffalo fired their head coach Jeff Quinn at the expense of the Eagles. Offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Alex Wood was elevated to interim coach. Quinn, 52, is in his fifth season with the Bulls, who are 3-4 this year with 2 victories over SCF teams. He was 20-36 overall. Eastern Michigan took their first win of the season against an FBS team. A factor in the firing of Quinn might be the outstanding performance of EMU's man behind center, who literally ran roughshod over the Bulls. The Eagles were led by quarterback Reggie Bell, who reclaimed the starting job from Rob Bolden, running for 202 yards and 17 carries and 2 rushing touchdowns of 70 or more yards, setting a school record. He was 8 of 13 passing the ball for 144 yards and a touchdown. Bell was not only named in MAC West Division Offensive Co-Player of the Week, but also a National Performer of the Week and the Quarterback Performer of the Week by the College Football Performance Awards, that's CFPA, as well as being touted one of the Manning Award Stars of the Week by the All-State Sugar Bowl. Linebacker Anthony Zappone was named MAC Defensive Player of the Week for his efforts. His move to the inside linebacker position is paying off big time, with 13 tackles against Buffalo and 3 for losses at critical times in the game, earning him the accolade. Overall, Zappone, a redshirt sophomore, has 44 tackles this year, 1 sack and a forced fumble. EMU is on the road Saturday against UMass. The national newspaper USA Today and their college football fan index gave notice to the gray field turf at EMU dubbed the Factory. They listed the Eagles' new playing surface as one of the top 10 best in the country, with the likes of Boise State, UCLA, and Notre Dame. Fans can now vote for the field they think is the best in the country through tomorrow. The College Football Fan Index is ranking different themes throughout the season, including best uniforms, fight songs, tailgating, entrances, and rivalries. EMU's record on the gray field is 2-0. In the Where Are They Now category, we report on 2 Drews. Drew Henson is remembered by University of Michigan fans as the quarterback that took over for Tom Brady. A 2-sport star at Brighton High School, Henson took his talents to the NFL mostly as a backup QB, drafted by the Houston Texans. He played briefly for the Dallas Cowboys, Detroit Lions, and Minnesota Vikings, and the Rhine Fire in Europe. But his heart was more in baseball, playing in the New York Yankees minor league system as a third baseman. He retired from both sports nearly 10 years ago. Nowadays, Henson is working as the hitting coach for the Yankees' lower-level Gulf Coast League team and has produced 2 major leaguers, both undrafted infielders, the switch-hitting Youngurvis Solarte, who was traded to the San Diego Padres and in his rookie year hit 10 homers, scored 56 runs, knocked in 48 RBIs, and batted a modest .260, and possible heir to Derek Jeter, Jose Perella, who hit a robust .333. Promising minor leaguer Frank Frias is also being mentored by Henson. Drew Stanton came through Okemos High School and was a prominent quarterback with the Michigan State Spartans. He struggled as a backup with the Detroit Lions, but may have found a home with the Arizona Cardinals as a backup for Carson Palmer. With Palmer injured, Stanton has led the Cardinals in 2 wins in the NFL season, beating the San Francisco 49ers and the New York Football Giants in the process. He has suffered from concussions, but may be cleared to play if Palmer doesn't. Arizona leads the NFC West with a 4-1 record. In the annual Harris poll of about 2,500 adults, the Detroit Lions were named the 13th most popular NFL team. They were 22nd last year and 30th in 2010 out of 30 teams. The Denver Broncos ousted the Dallas Cowboys for America's favorite team and number one. It should be noted this is a popularity contest, not who has the best team, and the sample included some 1,275, roughly half of the sample, who were identified as pro football fans. Finally, U of M's Rich Eisen has migrated from ESPN and the NFL Network to the Audience Network with a regular weekday sports talk show. Eisen, ESPN's Mike Tirico, and MLB's Network's John Paul Morosi are all national talking heads with Michigan connections. And that's WDEE-TV headline news for this Thursday, October 16th, 2014. I'm Michael G. Nastos reporting. So long, everybody. See you tomorrow.